Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sully Squad. Got a lot to get into today. We got what would you call it, Sean? A post-mortem on our Philadelphia 76ers?
Pretty much a shit show.
Yeah, so
Post-mortem, we'll get into it. I mean, who stays, who goes, who didn't show up.
yeah, so we got this. We got to go over the unfortunately a horrible ending of the Sixers. Daryl Morey spoke today, so that was basically a whole lot of platitudes and nothing. Because what can you really say?
Smoke up your ass.
Exactly. We got Eagles rookie mini camp was just this past weekend, so we'll get in a little Birds talk. And right now, we got a Red Hot Philadelphia Phillies baseball team. Right now they're up. They're playing as we speak. Right now they're up 5-1 in the bottom of the seventh. About to barring a late inning collapse. About to sweep the Giants right on out of here. Four game sweep. I think if the Phillies win this game, I think they're 17-3 in their last 20 games.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
So we got a lot to get into, and in fact. You know what, Sean? I mean, this Phillies team is usually slow starters. I mean, the last time I really remember a start like this, I know 95 they had a hot start, and of course 2011, they had that great season in 2011. But these guys right here, Macho Row, 1993, like growing up like that. Remember, they got off to a great start in '93, and they were wire to wire.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good to see them come out the gate this early. I like it, from the past previous seasons like you just talked about. They took kind of a setback with Trey Turner Friday night, tweaking his hamstring. He's out 6 weeks. But, I understand that we have a nice little bench. I know you're confident as well as I am, guys that can come out and fill in that injured player's position, which is Sosa. Whit Merrifield had a home run today,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, hey, that like you always say, Sean, next man up mentality. So we're gonna get into all of it. Of course, I got Sean, I got you on here right now. Diego will be hopping on in about 10 minutes. So we'll get Diego on, and but anyway, let's get into this here. Guess we'll start off with the Phillies. Like we said, I mean, right now, red hot, and what's kind of encouraging too. As good as the Phillies been playing, Harper really hasn't been that hot yet. And
he hasn't, but I think it's going to come summertime. The weather's nice, the ball's hot, it's just right. Just perfect weather. Just for some people. And, some ball players, like him, I think that's when he'll get acclimated, like you said. But how about Alec Bohm, Brad Marsh? One thing that me and you always say, like, they should actually change the lineup, tinker it a little bit. You got Nicky Three Buttons. You never know what to expect from him. He's hot and cold, but he's the only player I think that hasn't had a day rest or sit on the bench. What are your thoughts about that?
It's funny you said that, because I kind of think that the guy, I mean, he's still hitting below 200, although it ironically though, how he's very streaky. He's 2 for 2 today, and I think so. Maybe he's entering a hot streak, so maybe this might not be the time to sit him. You know what I mean? We might want maybe we want to let him play. You might want to let him go on like a nice, he could get hot for like a week at a two at a time, and then then when you start, when he starts flailing at that breaking ball and striking out, then you rest him a couple games. You know what I mean?
It's a funny thing you say that, because every time, am I right or wrong? Every time I talk shit about him, like Nicky Three Buttons needs to, step up or do something, he proves me wrong every time. He's 2 for 2 today. Over the weekend, I'm saying to my brother-in-law about him, he's so inconsistent, and he kind of have somewhat of a good game. I think it was Friday or Saturday, but Alec Bohm, man, just his average, his OPS, just the way he's more confident at the plate. He's not swinging at everything. He's getting used to the pitch count, what he likes and what to hit, what not to hit. But then we got one of the best hitting coaches in the game, Kevin Long, who's helped Rojas' swing, Bohm, Stott, which is awesome. But how about the pitching?
Yeah, so they just had a stat. I just got home from work a little bit ago, and then when I pulled the game up, they had a stat. Phillies pitching is ranked either first or second in at least like 5 or 6 categories. I think they're like first in wins.
They're first in everything, I think, Joey. Yeah, first in wins, ERA. You name it, they are. I mean, wow.
I mean, you look at the staff. I mean, the only guy that's really kind of a worry right now is Sir Anthony Dominguez.
What are your thoughts on that? Would you give him like an Alvarado kind of treatment? Clear his head, get his mind right, send him down. It's not a demotion, just
Well, I'd have to look. I'm not sure if he has any options yet. So I don't know if you necessarily want. I don't know if they can send him down per se, but maybe you may want to like not have him pitch in high leverage situations. Until he gets his until he gets his rhythm and his confidence back.
Yeah, his head right. Yep.
Yeah, you may want to have him be like a long man. It's a shame because if you remember, like.
Look at last year, the game we went to with the Astros. Dude, he was spot on. Like he was in the strike zone. He was wheeling and dealing. And just like you said, total like different kind of pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that 2022 run. I mean, it was basically him and Alvarado were like lights out. And then, last year during the regular season, he kind of struggled a little bit. Although, he pitched decent against the Braves. The Brave series, he was all right. I think he came in like game 1, got a couple big outs. But yeah, I mean, if you look at Dominguez, I mean, he's pretty much been replaced by Hoffman. I mean, I tell you that kid Hoffman's been a hell of a find.
Yeah,
they found him out of nowhere, and he's got some elite level stuff. I mean, his freaking slider, his fastball. It's
when he's in a zone, man. He's locked in, like you said. It's something because it's kind of refreshing, like how we're talking about Sir Anthony Dominguez, but when you have him in there. You know what he's going to bring, you got Strom, you got Dominguez, Soda, man, he's hot and cold, man.
Yeah, so Soda, when they got him from Detroit, like a lot of people were like, "Oh, great acquisition."
Yeah, I remember that.
And he does have some good stuff, but he's
not consistent. He's
like I'm looking right now.
Yeah,
Phillies right now, best record in baseball, 24-11. They got a 2.5 game lead on the Braves. Hang on, I think Diego's ready to hop on here with us. What's up, bro?
What's up, Diego?
What's up, guys?
Just talking little Phils, man. What's good?
Chilling, man. Just chilling. Just got in.
Okay.
What are you guys up to?
Talking about the Phillies, man. What are your thoughts on the little streak they got going on?
I was actually at the game yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, I was at pretty good seats. I was like 8 rows behind the catcher.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
It was sweet. They're on a roll, dude. I mean, everything they've been the last 2 years, it's finally like I feel like it's happening during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last 2 years, it was like they started cooking towards the end, and then now like the whole team has their identity. Boom, Bowman's obviously taking that next
How
step
about that,
to
man?
be
We're talking about him. He's just locked in, you know.
right.
He kind of tweaked his hamstring, but he knows what pitches to hit and what to look for, what not to look for, you know. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, boom. Rojas is playing. Rojas is doing his thing.
Rojas's defense is good, you know.
So I just feel like it's all starting to come together around the big bats that we have. You know, the Real Muto, the Bryce Harper, the Castellanos, the Schwarber, and I feel like we knew it once it all. And the pitching, you know, the pitching you can't say any. We haven't lost. We haven't lost when Ranger Suarez takes the mound. You know, and the only reason we've lost when Wheeler's taking the mound is because our bats disappeared them games. You know, in reality, if our bats had shut up every game, we'd have 2 undefeated pitchers.
Yeah, because Wheeler really hasn't gotten shelled. I mean, even the games he lost, he pitched, you know, pretty decent.
He's in there. He's pitching quality innings, like you said.
Every game. So it's like if you just give him some support, he wins. So this team is incredible right now. Like I said, it's all starting to come around. It's all starting to come together around all the guys that matter. You know what I'm saying? Like all them big bats that get you the 40 home runs and 100 RBIs. It's starting to come around together around them. And you're starting to really see how good this team is. This team's incredible.
But Sean, the touch on the Soto, Pat Bernard says, "What's up, fellas? Soto has been better than he was last year." What's up, Pat?
Yeah. What's up, Pat? Yeah.
You can check. You could check my man Pat out on Sunday mornings on Edge of Philly at 9 a.m. p.m. in the a.m. Those guys do a great show. But yeah, it's
Topper's doing a great job too.
I mean, hey, you know, when you're making moves and they work, you know, the only thing I'm not going to criticize Topper for this. The only thing is I don't know why it seemed like last year he'd be quick with the hook for the starters. Both of Taiwan Walker's starts, I felt like he left them in an inning too long.
He left them in with his first game.
The thing is, though, all right, I was at the game yesterday, and I was saying it to my buddy who I was with. I was like, time to get him out, you know? But then when you look at how many pitches the dude had, he only had 70 pitches.
True.
You know,
like the key thing is like location, you know, like the pitch count, and is he getting that ball in the strike zone, you know? More strikes, less balls. But all in all, like you said, he looks pretty solid, you know.
Yeah.
But our bench is reliable. Like I was saying, we were touching on it. Me and Joey Sosa, Whit Merrifield, who else? Pache, you know, guys that you know that can come in for maybe an inning or two, and you know, kind of be reliable. Now the true test is who can step up in Trey Turner's spot, being out 6 weeks with the hammy, you know?
Right. Yep.
Like Joey said, like I always say, next man up mentality.
Yeah, I still think we'll be all right. This lineup's so tough that one guy, you can still stay afloat 6 weeks without him, you know?
And they're, like you said earlier, they're playing as a team. It's not you like pointing the finger at each other. They're all winning, playing, hitting, you know. You know, what more to ask for? And then wait till this warm weather comes. The ball's going to be popping, fellas.
Oh, yeah. That's all I'm saying.
You know?
I mean, think about it. We haven't even gotten to Schwarber's month in June. Imagine when Schwarber gets hot. You know what I mean? Schwarber historically gets hot in June. You know, I mean, he could wind up hitting you 12 to 15 bombs just in a month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's like a slow cooking, man. Yeah, wait till that hot weather comes, man. It's gonna be nice. I think a lot of guys are gonna be popping bombs.
Yeah, here's Pat Bernard saying Topper's, you know, to touch on your point about leaving the starters in. He said Topper's giving the starters long innings. And then here's got my man Mike Lauro. He said, "Sup boys, go Phils, screw the 76ers." Well, Mike, we're gonna get into some Sixers talk. I kind of, being that it's Monday and you know, it was all, you know, you wake up on a Monday and you're like, oh man, dude, this weekend just flew by, blah blah. And especially for me, because I'm not as I'm not as young as I used to be going out. I went out Saturday night, so like Sean, you know how it is, man. Like when we, like if we go out now, it's like you're tired for a couple days. You know what I mean?
I'm going to the gym the next day. I gotta recoup.
Well, I did. I did. I got my ass on the treadmill yesterday, but still, like I'm still a little worn out. So, but anyway, because of that, I didn't want to start with the Sixers and be like, oh man, this what the hell are they going to do? What direction? So it's a lot more pleasant to talk about the Phillies. You know what I mean? Right now.
Yeah. Turns that frown upside down, right?
Yep. Here we got another comment here. Here's our man Mike Fuji. What's up, fellas? 5-1 Phils. Do me a favor, anybody out there, make sure you check out Fuji's new show. He's doing a great job. I think his last show he had Randy Cross, former San Francisco 49ers player on. So
yeah,
nice.
So he's got some good guests on. Eagles soon, yeah. Can't wait for the Birds, man. So all right, let's look at the All right, so let's look at this Philly schedule this week. You got Toronto here. Toronto's here for 2. They're here tomorrow night at 6:40. Then you got Wednesday, a business person special, 105 business person special on Wednesday. And then they play in Florida at Miami for 3 before they go to the New York next week. So let's see, how many games is that? So we got 1, 2. It looks like 5. Looks like 5 games the rest of this week. 2 with Toronto, 3 with Florida. How we doing these next 5? Are we going to keep this going? Are we going to have a slip up or what? What's your guys' predictions for this next week?
No Turner. I say we go at 3-2.
Okay, so you think it's eventually. I mean, it does make sense. Like so far, you could look at the scores and say that we haven't missed them, but it stands to reason. I mean, Turner was having a great year. So as these games go on, they're probably going to start to miss him a little bit. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was going to say, Mike. 4-1. I'll say 4-1. Yeah.
Okay.
Both Mike say 4-1. Mike Lauro and Mike Fuji both say 4-1.
I'm just feeling it.
Well, I mean, the one thing, Toronto's a pretty good team. You know what I mean? Toronto's no slouch. I know Florida, and the other thing about
the Marlins stink.
I watched the Saturday.
What happened? Well, we ain't.
I think
Sean's not watching shit. Yeah, I was gonna say Sean's not watching shit right now. He's frozen.
He ain't watching shit with that Wi-Fi.
All right. Here, all right. What were you saying, dog?
You froze.
The pitching was good. The pitching was good, and 2 guys, Roker and Rookie, both had home runs. Man, they were lighting it up. So.
Yeah, so the Marlins really blow. I mean, the Marlins are 10-26. I mean, they did make the playoffs last year, but they just traded that Aries, I think you'd say.
Yeah,
Ariza.
Yeah, he just got traded to San Diego, which is pretty ironic because a lot of people compare him to like a poor man's Tony Gwynn, and Tony Gwynn played out in San Diego all them years. You know what I mean? Because Aries or Ariza. Yeah, I know. I always fuck up his name, but anyway, he can really hit for a lot of average.
Yes, he can. He had a 4-hit game yesterday.
Yeah, so you got Marlins 10-26. They blow. Toronto's actually only 16-19. They're in the toughest division in baseball, the AL East. But I think Toronto is a little better than that, though. You know what I mean? Like Toronto, if you look at Toronto's talent, they got a lot of decent players on that team with Guerrero and Bichette. And, they got a couple decent pitchers.
George Springer.
Yeah, and they made the playoffs last year. I mean, they got their ass kicked by the Twins, but they made the playoffs. So hopefully the Phillies keep it going. I mean, like right now it's bottom of the 8th. They're up 5-1, and I think it looks like Kirkering's warming up to come in.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah. So all right. Well, hey, look, that's the positive. All right, fellas. That's the positive.
Where do you have?
I got to get into some. I think maybe we owe it to ourselves, especially listening to Daryl Morey.
Wait, Joe, what did you say the Phillies were going to do in the 5?
Yeah.
Oh, I never said. Oh, well, duh. I'm going to say 4-1. They keep it going.
All right.
Yeah, 4-1. They're red. Oh, Schwarber just hit a bomb at 6-1.
Let's go.
Yeah. See,
right.
Keep talking that positivity, man. I'll talk.
That's right.
I'll talk shit on Nikki 3 buttons.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Nikki 3 buttons' wife yesterday was right in front of me, chasing around all her little kids, chasing around all her kids, and then his son,
Liam.
He was sitting right in front of me, like 4 rows. And then every time his dad comes up to bat, he walks all the way over, like right next to the dugout, and sits there for his dad's at bat.
How boss must that be? Think about how boss that must be.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, he's such a boss. Just walk around a stadium, going wherever he wants to go. Such a boss.
Yeah. Can you imagine being a little kid like that though? Like you're walking up the door, or imagine like you go into school and be like, "Yo, what's up?" Be like, "Yo, that's my pops, man." Be like, "Yo, my pops." He'd be like, "Yo, my pops just crushed that John." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah. Although then again, some of them kids, kids could be kind of cruel. Some of those kids are like, "Yo, man, no offense, but your pops kind of blows right now." You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that sucks.
This probably one of those kids. Yeah.
This is kind of funny. Paul Spencer says, "What's up, gentlemen? Damn, Joe. Ever since you out the Pirates in the top 10, they are 4-15 since then." Yeah, yeah. Little shout out. Tomorrow night, apparently 2 years in a row, I put the kibosh on the Pirates.
They always put it on themselves, though. They're one of them teams that always have a good first couple months and then stink.
Yeah, but tomorrow night, any of you baseball fans out there. Myself and Dave Yarner will be back. We're doing another episode of Extra Innings tomorrow night at 7:00. So we'll be breaking
talking the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Probably not. Being that the Pirates kind of blow, we probably won't talk much Pirates. A little bit of Pirates, not too much though.
The only thing I feel like I know about the Pirates, like of their whole entire history.
I know what you're going to say. Roberto Clemente or Willie Mays?
No. Oh, that's one guy. But no. Every time I think of the Pirates, I just think of Andrew McCutchen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I got to help you brush up on your baseball.
That's like the only thing I like. Now you say Roberto Clemente, yeah, but he doesn't pop in my head when I think Pirates. I just think Andrew McCutchen was like the only good player they had for 8 years.
Wow.
Well, you got to remember, Diego's a younger buck than us, Sean. Like we go,
yeah.
I'll tell you, you know what I remember with the Pirates. I remember the Andy Van Slyke, Barry Bonds team, and I remember.
Yes, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta. I gotta.
Well, you were only 2 years old when 2 years old.
You were playing with Legos or Tiddlywinks.
Yeah. Because I remember the Sid Bream game where it was game 7. The Pirates had a lead. Stan Belinda was pitching, and who the hell was the guy? It was some no-name guy. It was like a Tony Tarasco or somebody. Got a hit up the middle, and Sid Bream, former Pirate, slow ass, friggin' slid underneath the tag like it was like Barry Bonds threw like a perfect throw, but Sid Bream's slow ass beat it by like half a second, and
wow.
That was until McCutchen. That was the last time the Pirates were good. They sucked balls because they lost Bonds. Bonds went to San Francisco that offseason, and the Pirates sucked balls from 92 until when the fuck did McCutchen start playing? Like 2010, something like that.
Yeah, like 14 years ago, 15 years ago, and they still weren't even that good with him. They sucked. He was just good.
Yeah, yeah.
McCutchen in his prime was nasty.
Well, what's funny? The the Pirates did have a couple good years with McCutcheon. Remember, I think one year they won like 103 games, but like everybody else in the division won like 100 and some. So they were like a wild card. I think they lost like a 1-game playoff to the Cubs. Like they got like so fucked over. They had this like great ass record, and then they lost 1 game. You know what I mean? That's
right.
That's like typical Pirates. You know what I mean? Like blow for so long, and then you know what I'm saying. Here we go. Paul Spencer says, wish they were good. I'd be there every day in the box. Yeah, that's right. Paul has a media credential. Out of the box has media credentials for the Pirates.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, when your team blows, you know what I mean? They're like, yo, they'll give media credentials. They're like, yo, come on down, cover us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can't pay people to cover them.
Fuji, yeah, here's some guys right here. Fuji says Stargell, Dave Parker, Bill Mad Dog Matalock, Mike Easler, and the Candyman, and then Kent Tekulve. Yeah, I remember Kent Tekulve as a Philly when I started watching ball.
Yeah, wow.
So, all right, well, you know what? Pirates blow. Let's talk about a team that doesn't blow, but unfortunately just isn't good enough. Our Philadelphia 76ers. Daryl Morey had a news press conference today. You know, and can't.
No one's safe.
Huh?
No one's safe.
No. Well, so this is like the first time now. This is really the first off season that you really, really, really can judge Morey, because he's not going to be hamstrung by Tobias Harris's like $40 million contract. Like, thank God. By the way, thank God.
Yes.
No more of this friggin' albatross contract. All right.
I'm gonna drive.
I think this is gonna. Detroit. I think this is really, because he said he's gonna have continuity with his stars, which is Embiid, Maxey, and his coach Nick Nurse. So this is gonna be like the first time where Embiid might not be able to handpick the players he wants to pick with, but really give his. All right, I want a guy around me who could do this. I want a guy around me who could do that. Maxey wants a guy who could do this. When I'm playing with a player like this, I feel most comfortable on the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, you're exactly right, Diego. And there's a couple ways to look at this too. Now, you know, the big rumor, of course, is that, you know, the Sixers are going to offer a max to Paul George. And I read that the Clippers are offering him a contract, but it's not a max. So if that's the case, but you guys know, you got to take NBA rumors with a grain of salt, because a lot of it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just say hypothetically the Clippers do not offer Paul George a max. If that's the case, Paul George is probably going to be, my prediction is Paul George will be a Philadelphia 76er. I think he's their number one target.
I wouldn't go with saying Embiid is going to have a lot to say. If Jimmy Butler becomes available, you already know Embiid's going to be like, that's who I want to play with. And Morey has to take that. Even if Morey's like, I want Paul George, you can't say you're gonna take your star's words, and then if he says, I want this player, you ain't gonna go get him if you can.
See, the thing is, I love Jimmy Butler, dude. I mean, you know, love Jimmy Butler, love what he brings to the table, love the intangibles. So scared that we're not, so afraid that if we make that move, we're getting a guy that's all of a sudden.
We're not getting the Jimmy Butler.
Are we getting a Paul George though?
Why they both?
Are we getting a Paul? Paul George did not look good in that series.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Looked horrible.
Both great players, but to me, injuries are a concern for me.
All right, so Paul George against the Mavs. Paul George against the
nervous, bro. They both
ready. Paul George against the Mavs, or the Jimmy Butler we've seen playing against the Sixers before he hurt his knee.
I trust Jimmy Butler in the big moment way more than I trust Paul George. And they're both injury prone. And see, I just have a fear that either of them guys they get, we're going to be all excited. They're going to sell you like a big three, and then both them dudes are only going to play like 45, 50 games, 50.
Yeah, true.
You know?
But that's like at the point the Sixers. This is like at the point the Sixers organization is. They got to be all in on a player. You kind of like he's hitting an age. He's hitting an age where you know his game's going to take a decline. If not in a year, maybe you get 2 or 3 out of him. You know what I'm saying? Hope you can get 2 good years out of Paul George, 2 good years out of Jimmy Butler, whatever you get to bring. But that's a player we're going to have to settle for.
Yeah, Paul Spencer right here says Paul George hasn't been the same since Indiana. You know, I mean, hey, look,
he's had some good years though. Since Indiana,
he has. No, I disagree a little bit with what Paul said, but he was best. I mean, but then when he was with Indiana, he was a hell of a player. I mean, he did have that big. Remember, he did have that horrible injury. He got hurt really pretty bad back then.
Yeah,
I see on his podcast. He was talking about the injury. He's like, I had to learn how to play different.
Yeah.
You lose all that crazy explosiveness. Like regardless, you can still dunk, you can still jump, but it's the explosiveness. It's being able to jump from far away. You know what I mean? With high in the air, catch alley-oops. He lost that after the injury, but Paul George learned how to play.
Is in the back of his mind, just like we said with Joel, just like you said, the explosiveness, the way you jump. You have that in your mind, like the way I jump is, am I going to do something to my knee? Believe it or not, you're thinking that, but you're not going to say that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I think we got to take a chance on one guy. If I can get Jimmy Butler, that's the guy I want. Okay. Because to me, Jimmy Butler's the guy that I know. Embiid was a dog. Embiid was a dog this year. You know what I'm saying? He was without Jimmy Butler. If you got him with Jimmy Butler, and they're like playing for each other with Maxey, you got a whole bunch of dogs.
What if you didn't even go the star route? Look at how the Knicks are like
role players.
Like what if you said, you know what, I don't want to take a chance on a guy in his mid-30s, and you offered a couple picks for like a Brandon Ingram who's 26 years old, or maybe like a couple guys, like maybe you get a guy like a Brandon Ingram, and then you go get like a Deontay Murray to play the 2 guard, and you add like a few guys, and then you go get yourself like a stretch 4, maybe like somebody that's not making a ton of money, but somebody come in here, get you some rebounds, hit a couple 3-pointers. Like what if instead of spending like 40 some million on one guy, what if you went out there and spent like 20 here and 15 there? And then I read there's something in the new CBA that makes it possible where like the Sixers can bring Oubre back on like an $8 or $10 million exception. And unless somebody overpays for Oubre, I'm predicting, I think Oubre is going to come back here. I think he really likes Philadelphia. So unless somebody gives him a shit ton of money, I think Oubre comes back, and that could be big because he could be like your first guy off the bench, give you some instant offense off the bench. If you do, I guess it depends on who they get. Because if you get a Paul George, maybe Paul George is your 4, and then Oubre starts at the 3, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You could go with a Jimmy Butler though. Say with Jimmy Butler, you can go Maxey, Butler, Oubre, whatever 4 you bring in and Embiid.
Oh yeah, listen, I'm open to Jimmy. I mean, honestly,
I think Jimmy. But if you're going to bring Oubre back, I think Jimmy Butler definitely gives you more flexibility because you ain't playing PG at the 2 and you ain't playing Oubre at the 2. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So one of them's going to have to hit the bench. If Oubre is going to be one of your key players that you're going to bring back, like to play a role like he did this year, Jimmy plays a 2. Oubre can still play the 3. You bring in a 4, and you got him beat.
The only problem with that is, does that team have enough shooting? Because Jimmy's a scorer. Jimmy's a scorer. Oubre's a scorer, but you really don't. I mean, do you have enough shooting? I mean, Maxey's really the only guy who hit the 3 for you in that lineup.
And B can hit a 3, but your 4's going to have to hit a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're
going to need a stretch 4.
Yeah. Look at the bench players. Do we keep Batum, Campaign, KJ Moore?
Well, Batum's retiring.
You think so?
He said before this season he was.
Oh, okay. I would love to have him for one more year. I just like for a guy his age, like you said, Diego, he balled, you know.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if none of them guys on the bench come back.
Wow.
Batum, Lowry, Campaign, Buddy Hield. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, all of them are gone. You got to sign a third max guy, and then you got to fill in a bunch of cheap ass dudes.
I'm good with a bunch of, like Joey said, reliable role players, you know, to spread that money out and get the team, like you said before, Diego, Nick Nurse had in Toronto, you know, if willingly, you know, and then go from there.
I think Brandon Ingram's a little better than a role player. Like Brandon Ingram really intrigues me because he's only 26 years old. You know, he's going to be 27. You know, he's been in the league about 8 years. He's just coming into his prime, and I feel like he could
bring something.
Well, he could kind of be the perfect mix between entering his prime and being ready to win, but also in 3 years' time, if say Embiid does slow down, but you still have Maxey who's 26, he still can play a role building the team forward, going forward with Maxey. So you're kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of still in this next 2 to 3 year window to try to win a chip. But by the same token, if that doesn't work out, you still have an Ingram who'd be about 30 years old, and then you'd still have Maxey who's about 26, 27, where you still could kind of extend that window a little bit.
I agree. I think Ingram probably be the guy who gives you the most upside because of his age. Mm-hmm. But what do the Sixers organization try to do best? They try to sell you on shit. So they want to be able to sell you on a PG or a Jimmy Butler to team up with Embiid and team up with Maxey and raise your fucking tickets for the next 3 years. Ingram don't move that needle.
No, listen, I hear you, but basketball wise, that actually might be possibly the best move. Like
it will.
Like
think about the Knicks. The Knicks are probably going to go out there after this year. They're not going to win a championship because they're playing with a bunch of role players. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, this team might be better. I like Julius Randle. Julius Randle's not a winning player every time I watch play. Yeah. Takes ill-advised shots, bad decision-making. They're better as a team because of the grit they bring without Julius Randle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they'll probably end up moving most of them guys to try to bring in a Devin Booker.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
that's you look at the teams around the league with a star and a good team around them, and I guarantee they'll all deplete their rosters for another star because it sells tickets. It's because it sells tickets. Stars sell tickets. The more you have on your team, the more seats you fill on your seats.
You think there's any way the Sixers could go out and add a star and then maybe go out and get like a guy like a Caruso? I feel like a guy like a Caruso would be a really nice fit next to Maxey.
Yeah, I would love Caruso next to Maxey. Maxey, Caruso, Paul George, Embiid.
Now that roster's cooking with gas.
Yeah, I like that.
And that roster's put together nicely. Caruso can handle the ball a little bit. He plays excellent defense. He can hit a 3-pointer. And he doesn't demand the ball. So a guy like a Caruso, if he's got a hot hand, one night he could get you 15 to 20, but he'll do all the little things to help you win. And he could hit a big shot for you. You know what I mean? And then you can have Embiid. Embiid could get you his 30. Maxey could get you 25. And then, PG could get you 20, right? And then guys like Caruso, your stretch 4, whoever, Oubre maybe gets you 10 off the bench, whatever. That team's scoring $110 a night.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, Sixers can go in with all the cap they have. They can go in 2 directions. They can try to go in that direction with Maxey and Embiid, another star, or they can just go. You know what? Let's not try to bring a third star in here. Let's just fill the team around Embiid with a bunch of athletic, good defensive 3-point shooters. Klay Thompson. And earlier, Joe was saying, I do not want Klay Thompson But if you go in the direction of just defense and spreading the floor, he might be a perfect fit next to Embiid.
Right. As long as you're not maxing him out.
I don't think Clay's getting the max. Do you?
No, right. No, I didn't think you thought that, but I'm saying that might not be a bad idea. All right, so let's take this one step further. Let's say you trade a first or two. Let's say you make a trade and you trade a first or two. You go get yourself like a Brandon Ingram. He's your young guy, 26 years old. He plays the three, right? Then you go out and you sign a guy like a Klay Thompson to like a 2-year deal, not even close to a max. He's your starting two. All of a sudden, then you go out and use some of that money and you get yourself, or maybe you make another trade for, I don't know, sometimes there's guys.
Then you might try to bring Oubre back to be your bench piece to come in when Ingram goes to the bench.
Right, and then maybe you even bring a campaign back to come off the bench or somebody like that, or somebody better. You know what I'm saying? And this team definitely needs a backup center, like the
100%. Paul Reed's got to get cut.
Yeah, a backup center is like a must. So
Obama, see you later.
Yeah, no. But is Andre Drummond's a free agent?
I think so.
If he's a free agent, actually, you got to do everything in your power to try to bring Andre Drummond back here.
Bring him back. We need guys that can rebound. Definitely got out rebounded in that Knicks game. We all know that, And then first and foremost, just get rid of that crumble cookie, Tobias Harris. What a shit show of a game. 0 points, 29 minutes.
Morey wanted Drummond. You know what I'm saying? So I could see him going after him. Is Gafford a free agent too? Didn't Gafford sign a 1-year deal with the Mavericks?
That I don't know.
I'm not sure, but here's another thing that we're not really thinking of. Because of the new CBA, there's a lot of guys that are going to be, there's a lot of teams that are going to have a lot of salary cap issues. They're going to have to move guys. And the Sixers have all this space. The Sixers can literally
take on.
We could take guys on from teams. So there's a lot of different ways you could build this team. Like, I'll tell you, there's a part of me that kind of hopes that they don't get a Paul George or a Jimmy Butler, and they do get like you bring Clay in on like a 2-year, $20 million deal or something. Like you give him $10 million or something like that, right? Then you go get a Brandon Ingram. He's signed through this year, which is perfect because you could you could literally use the bird rights next year and up him next year. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think Ingram, I don't know what he makes, but I don't think he makes like max money. Then you get your stretch four, you get your backup center. You bring some bench guys back, and I think because you got to remember, I mean, whoever they bring in as a quote unquote third guy, it's gonna be Embiid and Maxey are going to be the top two guys. So no matter what, you need a guy that's going to be cool with being the third fiddle. See, I love Jimmy Butler, bro. And I'm not going to front, bro. Like I'm saying I want to do all this stuff. If the Sixers got Jimmy Butler, I'd be like, holy shit, we just got Jimmy Butler. All right, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'd be happy. I'm not going to front. But I have concerns with the injuries. And then I also have concerns with the fact that, Miami's been Jimmy Butler's team. Is he going to be content coming here and being like kind of like a 1A or 2 or 3? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think he would though. Let's be real. He knows him. He knows him. He had no problem letting Tyler Hero get off when Tyler Hero wanted to get off.
Yeah, it's true.
Jimmy seems like that. You know what Jimmy Butler brings to this team that we fucking don't have, and we haven't had
balls,
and toughness.
Balls, and in the playoffs we go on like 5-minute stretches with no baskets.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler don't play that shit. Jimmy Butler would be like, give me the small fucking ball.
Exactly. I'm getting a bucket. And there wasn't a guy against the Knicks that, besides Maxey, and Embiid did his thing, but there was no guy that went and got a bucket when them two guys couldn't hit their shots.
Nah, that's true.
Look at the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets are so good. You know why? Because when Jamal Murray's off and Jokic is just doing his passing thing, Porter's averaging 25 points in the playoffs.
Yeah, Is there any way that KD would ask out of Phoenix?
I don't know. I think that's gonna depend a lot. What happens with Devin Booker?
I see him going. I think they're going to trade him.
If Devin Booker forced to trade, Kevin Durant's gone. If Devin Booker and Kevin Durant decide to give it one more go, I think Kevin Durant goes back.
Because that would be the move right there. I know KD, and personally, like, I don't know, he always looks like he's miserable. That's one thing about KD that I don't love. But like, I mean, if KD's available, I got to make that call. And then the other thing is like I don't think this is going to happen because I think LeBron stays in LA. But if there's any chance to get LeBron, I know he's old, but I'll take LeBron for 2 years. Let me tell you, you put LeBron with Maxey and Embiid, and I'll find a way to add some role players to shoot the fucking ball and play defense, and that team's going to win.
Yeah,
I
like that. Who wouldn't take LeBron James?
You'd have to. You know what I mean? He's still. You could say, LeBron might not be, the top guy in the league no more, but if you put LeBron on this team, first off, we would have spanked the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? How about all them times in the playoffs when we struggle to get the ball into Embiid on the block? The guy can't make the pass. LeBron's making that pass every single time. Well, and not just that. Not just that, but LeBron's such a threat that if they can't get into Embiid, LeBron's like, all right, fuck it, dude. I'm staking this joint myself.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just going to power myself to the rim. Yeah, I agree. Who wouldn't take LeBron James? I'm in. But that's a pipe dream.
I agree, but I'm still putting it out there just because you never do know. Because if his son decided to go to Duquesne or some shit, maybe. But then again, though, the guy made a great point on the radio today that, LeBron has all his businesses out there. Plus he's got his wife. His wife probably doesn't want to move. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, for sure.
But
for sure.
Tell you what, though, guys. This off season's going to be exciting as hell, though.
So when's obviously after the NBA playoffs, when do players start to become available and all the talk start to happen and shit?
I think mid-June.
It's usually July. It's usually like July 4th weekend.
Gotcha.
So what usually happens is the draft. The draft is usually like a week or so, late June, like a week or so after the NBA Finals kind of ends. And then, so you have the draft, and then I think like 5, 6, 7 days later or a week later, right around July 4th is usually like free agent frenzy or free agent tampering period.
Yeah.
And then,
okay.
That's when shit usually goes down.
Gotcha.
I remember when KD signed with Golden State. I think it was literally like July 3rd or July 4th.
Gotcha.
And I remember being at a July 4th barbecue when the Sixers got JJ Redick. So it's always like usually that weekend.
Gotcha.
Remember the Clippers? Remember the Clippers went in and they kidnapped DeAndre. They kidnapped DeAndre Jordan. They wouldn't let him go. Yeah, because he was gonna. I think it was rumored he agreed to go with the Dallas Mavericks, and then
he did.
Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, Doc Rivers, they all went there, and they're like, "Nah, fuck out of here. You ain't going there."
Yeah. I remember, and they didn't win shit.
Nah, they didn't win nothing. That team, Golden State blocked that team, but that team, they were, they were kind of like the Sixers. If you think about it, they never made it out of the second round. They were just like the Sixers, like every year, Blake, Embiid's the best player out of those two teams, probably. Well, we had Chris Paul's a Hall of Famer. You had Chris Paul, you got Blake Griffin, you know what I mean? And they were exciting as shit all year long, and then the playoffs came and they didn't do dick.
Yeah. Yep. But that team was disappointing.
Yeah. Let's move on to some Eagles, but real quick, here's a guy that's not disappointing at all. If you get hurt on the job and you need to get yourself some paper, make sure you call my man Jason Fine, a.k.a. Attorney Big Al. motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workers' compensation, or personal injuries. He'll get you paid. So if you get hurt on the job, make sure you call my man Jason Fine. And anybody out here, say you have a late night. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I had a late night Saturday night. And if I was a coffee drinker, I would have been hooking up this Monkey's Cold Coffee. They got the best coffee around. You could use the promo code OOTBS Sports at monkeycoldcoffee.com. So coffee drinkers, make sure you check that shit out. It's pretty good. So, all right. So what else did we have here? We had Sean. I think I saw there's a little bit of Eagles news. They had rookie mini camp this past weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything?
We got the kid Johnny Wilson, stature 6'7", 230 something, big boy. He
no hands.
Yeah.
Led college football in
dropsies, so hopefully, he follows, rich football history, the Carmichael. He models his game after Mike Evans and Devontae Adams, hopefully
nice.
He can change his game in the pros, hit that jug machine, man, just like Odell Beckham, man. Catch 200 balls after practice, you want it, you got to get it.
Right.
I'm excited for Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. I know Quinyon's played in Toledo Conference, but if you look at, like we said last week, his skill sets, he's just something special. He can tackle. He has great hips. He's fluid. He can run fast. And then with DeJean, it's like, I think that was a Fangio pick as well as the Mitchell. It's like, you can put him anywhere, in the slot, cover, cornerback, safety. It's going to be interesting. And Jackson Hunt,
Yeah, Ray. I was listening to WIP this morning. Ray Dininger said that Mitchell and DeJean were both his top-rated corners. He said he was like extremely thrilled with what the Eagles did, because he thought Mitchell was like was going to be picked like anywhere from 10 to 15.
Wow.
And then he would have been cool with DeJean at 22. And the Eagles actually signed another cornerback today
from the Raiders.
No, guy.
He's always been with us. I know who you're talking about.
They signed an undrafted rookie free agent cornerback, Sean Stevens, Shon Stevens. But he's actually the cousin. He's the cousin of Joey Porter Jr. Apparently he looked really good in a workout. And
4.3 speed.
Yeah, it says he's a long shot to make the team. But they brought him in. It looks like he's a little older. He's 20. He's undersized and he's going to turn 26. But if he's
we have like 100 corners now.
Yeah,
well, like we said, we want to bring in those extra bodies and kind of see what these guys bring to the table. Do they fit the Fangio's defense? Do they fit the team? It's good to have all these bodies because, God forbid, somebody gets hurt. It's next man up mentality.
All these most of these signings that you see, like at this point, they're just training camp fillers.
Yeah, they're bodies. Yeah, exactly.
They're just bodies because we have Slay, the two rookie quarterbacks we took, Ringo, Bradbury,
Ricks,
Maddox. We have like 7 corners. Didn't we sign a corner from the Raiders?
Yes, we
did. Like a good corner last year.
And then there's another thing that's intriguing. The international player like Malata. He's young, Samoan kid, 6'5", 21 years old. I wish I could pull it up, but I'm on my phone. But yeah,
I seen that. I see
Stoutland U kind of molding and growing on like he did Malata. Who would have thought Malata would have played and transitioned this good into the American football game?
So I was reading an article about him though, and it doesn't like Malata had a very strong rugby background.
Okay.
You know, what is this kid? I didn't. It didn't say this kid had like a rugby background or anything like that. So where's he
He's
getting his skills
almost
from?
like that one end from Australia that we had, and then they cut him, and then he retired. I forget his name, Roth or
I don't remember.
Hey, maybe he eats a lot of meat pies. Remember when Ben Simmons was here? They had in the concession stands. They used to have the Australian meat pie.
Yeah.
Meat pies, and he's like, "Okay, mate, okay, put me out here, mate, and I'll try out." You know.
I mean,
I don't
yeah,
know. I mean, hey. So I mean, hey, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I can't wait for football. And did you see there was somebody posted on X? It was like a picture of like Saquon Barkley like doing like all these squats, and then Jalen Hurts was in the background like smiling, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
They call since you say that, they call Saquon Barkley Squadzilla.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just amazing, the squats and how it's like a competition, you know, get the juices flowing. How both these guys, I think Saquon squats a little bit over 600, dude. A little bit over 600. Come on, man.
He's a monster.
Hey, legs are like tree trunks. That the one that's out front of my house, sick, you know, and Hurts as well. I mean, I can't wait. Just like you said, Joey, it's going to be good. You know.
Yeah. So it's going to be, like obviously, and the one thing I think the schedule should be coming out within maybe even later this week. I know within either
I
this
think
week
it comes
or
out late May.
next week.
Late May.
Okay. Yeah. It's usually
yeah.
It's usually right around this time. Now, obviously, we know who they open up with. They open up with the Packers.
In Brazil.
Right. So they open up with the Packers. I guess that isn't Giselle from Brazil?
Yes.
Is she?
Yeah. I don't know. I just was thinking, by the way, I know Diego watched it. Did you see the Tom Brady roast last night, Sean? Any of it?
No, I seen a lot of the things where
it's funny as shit, bro.
How he told what's the name to stop talking about Kraft with the massage.
John Ross, is that his name?
Yeah. Cut the shit out.
Dude. Yeah. It was funny as hell.
It was funny as shit. Yeah, even Brady was pretty funny. I got to give him props. He was pretty funny too.
Hilarious.
He spoke the truth about deflatable balls too.
Yeah, he did. He said he could have gave me $20 million. I would have just told you I did it.
I know, right? I never gave a fuck about that shit anyway.
I never gave a shit. The dude won 7 Super Bowls. So if he won it with fully pumped up balls and deflated balls. It didn't matter. He was beating you whatever ball you gave him.
Yeah, that dude could deflate. That dude, he could have walked into any bar in Boston and deflated his balls anytime he wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you know.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, all right. Well, look, we'll get into some more football talk as the coming.
Yeah, man.
Phillies did hold on to win. And I'm looking right here. Zach Wheeler a 1.64 ERA in his 8 starts.
Awesome.
Today, no earned runs and 11 Ks. Unbelievable, guys.
Unreal.
Man on fire.
Unreal.
Baby.
So let's hope the Phils keep it up. One quick note about the NBA playoffs too. I know the Sixers are out of it, but I put a couple bucks. I texted this to Diego the other night. My sleeper to win it all right now is the Minnesota Timberwolves, bro. That kid Anthony Edwards is unfucking real. Like I put a couple bucks on them to win the whole joint because I feel like if they could find a way to get past Denver, then I think they'll beat either Oklahoma City or Dallas, and then we'll see what happens. Versus probably Boston, but I'm intrigued by that Timberwolves team. I think they're really hot right now.
I agree. Anthony Edwards unreal.
I second that too.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the league going forward with like guys like Steph Curry getting older and Kevin Durant getting older. LeBron getting older. In the next, I would say within the next 3 to 5 years, you'll start seeing the faces of the NBA being guys like Anthony Edwards and like Wembanyama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll start being the new
Maxey.
future of this league. Maxey, Luka. You know what I'm saying? Luka will be up there.
If John Moran can get back to playing the way he was playing before punching a kid in the face, pulling a gun out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, John Morant's like the modern day Spreewell.
Yeah, pretty much. But he had to for 3 years, right? For like 2 years right there. Memphis was really, really good with Jaron Jackson and John Moran and Bane. Like that team was really good. And then John Moran falls into hard times, and I don't think it's just a coincidence they suck this year.
Wait a minute. There's an interesting would you? Okay, I'm going to pose this question. Say you strike out on every big name. Say Paul George stays in LA.
Yeah.
Jimmy Bucket stays in Miami.
Yeah.
You can't even get Ingram.
Yeah.
What if Memphis just got so tired of John Moran shit they wanted to move on and you could trade a couple picks? Would you take a shot on that?
He doesn't fit.
You don't think
John Morant's like your point guard's point guard. You know what I mean? I need the ball in my hand. I got to get to the rim. Russell Westbrook. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah. So
how does he play with Maxey? Maxey reminds me a little bit of John Morant. Just not as athletic, but a smarter. You know what I'm saying? But they're similar. Hard to play. They would never play together.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, you're right. I agree with you because if you're trying to grow Maxey, then if you have to give the ball to Morant, then basically you're forcing Maxey to be like a spot up shooter. You're kind of taking the ball, and then vice versa. If you have ball in Maxey's hands, then you're not really allowing Morant to be effective.
I agree. I think it's the Atlanta Hawks effect.
Yeah, I hear you. I just figured I'd ask the question just because the Sixers are going to try to get somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if that's the case, you're almost better off just bringing Klay Thompson in cheaper for 2 years and just because he'll just stand there and shoot.
Yeah, he'll just stand there.
The Magic are supposedly heavy on Klay Thompson.
I can see that. They need a vet.
Yeah, but I think if he had the choice between coming to Philly and Orlando, I think he would think he'd have a better chance of winning here.
I agree. I agree. I think he'd pick Philly over Orlando.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, listen. We could get it. It's just off season's just starting, so we'll obviously get much more into this as the weeks go by. But hey, we're getting ready to wrap up here. Go Phils.
Yeah, man.
Go Phils, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good one.
Go fight.
All right, guys.